Show.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to the Real Chat Daddy Show. Ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to the Chat Daddy Show. I am your host, Chat Daddy. Glad to be here with you guys on a very rainy, hot, and humid Monday here in Chicago. It reminds me of someplace in the tropics. We've had torrential rainstorms, and then the next thing you know, it's very hot and humid. Well, we have another great show planned for your viewing and listening pleasure this evening. As you guys all know, and some of you may not know, that August is Black Business Month. And tonight we're honoring a legendary gentleman who has been in the entertainment business for decades. He is one of the original members of the Chi-Lites, Chicago's very own the Chi-Lites. Tonight we welcome musical icon, the legendary Mr. Marshall Thompson, to talk to us tonight. Not only did he recently celebrate his 80th birthday, yay, he has a big concert coming up here in Chicago this coming weekend, and I have been told that he is being honored in December for his iconic work. And by the way, he has a star on the Hollywood Walk of Fame. So we are honored to welcome this icon to the show this evening. Sitting in the co-host chair is our girl, the one and only Miss Kay Renee of Karen's Nuggets of Knowledge. Hello, dear. How are you? And good to see you. Happy Monday and welcome back.
Thank you, Chad Daddy. Good evening to you. Good evening to our listening and viewing audience. As today, Monday, August 29th, is the last Monday in August. And, you know, as you said earlier, it reminded me of the movie Sybil here in Chicago, because our weather has so many different personalities. In mid-afternoon, it started to get very dark, and then you saw the thunder, saw the lightning. Then you heard the thunder. Then you saw or heard the deluge of rain. And I'm like, oh, and then my lights started flickering on and off throughout the afternoon. I said, okay, Lord, let's make sure I can't have my power out. And then maybe an hour, maybe 90 minutes later, it was like the sun opened up. I said, look at God. I said, okay, well, this is what we're used to. This is what we've been accustomed to since the pandemic. We're having just weather of, as what you say, Art, of biblical proportions.
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. There's no other way to describe the weather. There's no other way to describe the things that we have been going through. When I got up this morning and it was still cool, but yet humid, I knew a storm was coming on, as well as when I was a little kid, my grandmother used to always say her body would ache when it was about to rain. Yes. And so I am now my grandmother's child for sure, or her grandchild for sure, because I knew earlier today that we were going to have a torrential rain the way my body was aching. So,
Yes. So, we're about to close the season and open up a new one very soon.
Yes.
Hi, Janet. Hello. Thanks for stopping by. Hey, Miss Betty. Good evening to you too.
Absolutely.
Since we've been off the air, of course, we had the opportunity. Hi, Scarfilla. We had the opportunity to see the maestro, the Michael Jordan. I like that title you gave him, the Michael Jordan of the violin, Mr. Lee England Jr. He was just off the chart. And then I mentioned this to you briefly while we were in the green room, but I want to honor and just pay respects to a family member who I didn't know was family when I was growing up. But as we got to know one another, and he was a member of our church, made his transition on Thursday, Reverend Herbert Lassiter, who just was a prolific writer. And I want to just send love to my cousin Stephanie and the rest of the Lassiter family. He made his transition, and it's just, as I said, when you lose people that you love, it hurts. And I thank you also for just being there, just being my support during this time, because I'm kind of lost right now, because he was just my writing mentor. He was just a prolific writer. And as you know, our church has a monthly publication called Daily Inspiration for Better Living. And he was a distinguished writer, right? So I'm just, just keep me in prayer, y'all, because this one hurt.
Yes, it is. I am so sorry to hear about that. Candace Lewis, who is also a member of Christ Universal,
Yeah.
my condolences. He was an awesome guy. Yes, he was. Thank you, Betty. We really appreciate that. Yeah, really a pioneer, a tremendously good man, a man of substance and character, and really a new thought leader. And so, yeah,
Absolutely.
we are
And
very
listen,
sad.
you may not know, he was one of the first African American men to work for IBM because he was a computer geek, as he loved to call. So,
Yes,
he had
yes.
history. So again, my prayers go out to his daughter Stephanie, his sons, but more importantly, his spouse, who was also my pastor, the Reverend Emma Luster Lassiter. Arrangements are incomplete right now, but I just feel that I know Herb is with me because it's so weird. Art, I've been hearing his voice literally since he's transitioned. And when I
Yes.
when I launched Karen's Nuggets, he was just so proud. And as I said, he was
Yes.
my writing mentor. So I love you,
Very
Herb.
good.
Yeah. Yeah.
All
So
right. Well, our deepest condolences go out to the family. I had a very busy week since the last time we were on the air. As you
yeah,
guys all know, we did a very special broadcast last Wednesday night. Was it Wednesday night?
it was
From the
Wednesday.
Epiphany Center, which is on South Ashland, a beautiful place that used
Mm-hmm.
to be a church in the West Loop area. They've now turned it into a venue that offers all types of things from entertainment, art galleries, a wonderful lounge. We went to see Mr. Lee English Jr., who is from Waukegan. He has worked with some of the top names in business. And actually, I did not name him the Michael Jordan of violin. It was some celebrity. I just took the coin
Okay.
phrase that they used. But this young man is just dynamic. There was not a song he could not play on that violin. And we're not talking about Mary Had a Little Lamb. We are
Ooh,
talking about bumping jams, bumping tunes to the point that people got up and started dancing. It was
yeah.
so good to see so many people in the house. Mary Datcher, Wayne Williams, the
Oh,
iconic Mr. George Daniels. I had a lot of people to come through as my guest or our guest that evening during the show, and we really did have a wonderful time. So I want to send a major shout out to Mr. Uh, Lee English Jr.
England. England.
England. Do I say English? England.
England.
Right. That's the place to be. England. Yes, absolutely.
Yes,
My apologies. Yes. I told you it was a tongue twister. It is.
I know. I
It
know.
is.
But
All right.
and
Uh,
and the wonderful thing too, before we move to the next story, that it's nice to see African Americans playing classical instruments. I love seeing that because
I
there's
do
this
too.
misnomer that we can't play. Yeah, we can
Right.
play. We can play any instrument that we put our
Yeah.
mind to it. So, again, kudos to Mr. England. He
I
rocked it.
had a dear friend. Oh, this was many years. I don't know what happened to the friend, but he used to play the bassoon.
Oh, wow.
Yes, yes, and
Okay.
we used to all tease him like you a buffoon playing the bassoon, but he could play it like nobody else's business. And he ended up going on to become a class, a part of classical orchestra that plays, but he plays the bassoon. Yes, he does. So
All right.
interesting, very good. I also want to give a very special shout out to Miss Christy with an I, public relations. This past Saturday, she presented the Black Print Chicago. And the Black Print Chicago, I sat on a panel to talk about creating content for our culture. And it was such an honor to be there. I was there with other people in the music business, entertainment, and we were talking about how do you keep a culture entertained. And I was really honored to just share my story of, radio, television, newspaper, now pivoting to a digital platform. My goal is to continuously keep people informed, educated, and laughing, having a fun time, because we were just talking about how sad the news can be if you watch it on a daily basis. Again, I woke up Saturday morning to what? Somebody being shot on the CTA Red Line train. I
No.
mean, if you took in everything that you heard on the news, you would live in constant chaos and pandemonium. And so that's why this show was created, to give people the news, but give it to them in a fun, loving way that they're able to understand, what the deal is. So, yes, very good on that. All right. So, thank you, Christy. All of my fellow panelists. My girl, Miss Dion Nicole Smith, was on a panel after we,
Yeah.
and it was at Momentum Coffee and Workspace. And that place is beautiful on 21st and State. So, I had a great time. Yes, I did. All right. Let me see. What else did I do this weekend? Boy, it was busy. Thank you to my posse for the lovely luncheon. I was given a luncheon on Friday by my crew of people that I love and adore. Thank you so much. And then what else happened? That was it. I'm tired. That was enough. That was enough. That was it. Yes.
You took care of your little sister because I had a little issue over the weekend.
Hey sis, that's my girl right there. I love her. Yes, she was actually at the
Uh-oh.
What happened?
Okay.
Can you hear me?
I can hear you now, sweetie.
Oh, did we blank out? It may be the Wi-Fi, honey.
Hey, that's been happening all day today. So we're going to apologize to our viewing audience in advance. Wi-Fi been acting up.
Yes, absolutely. Did you see Boy George at Ravinia? I did not see Boy George. I did not, but I will be at Diana Ross this coming Sunday.
Woo-hoo! Love Miss Ross.
I do too. I love, in my head, Diana Ross is my mother. So we'll be at Ravinia Sunday to see Miss Ross. We'll be at Country Club Hills to see Mr. Marshall Thompson on Saturday night. And on Sunday, we'll be at Ravinia to see the one and only Miss Ross.
All right. Have fun. Because I saw her when she was in Ravinia. It's been 4 years ago. And the diva, the ultimate diva, does not disappoint. So
no, she does not.
Get them seats together and see Miss Diana.
Yes. All right. Well, what we got to talk about in news and entertainment before our special guest joins us tonight?
Well, this week is the last week, even though we're still in the pandemic, y'all. We still, if you can, wear the mask if you can. So if you want to get those tests, go to covid.gov to register to get your free test, because after Friday, they will suspend the program. I ordered my test because if you remember last week, we had a brief synopsis about whether or not your tests have expired, and mine have. So I said, I want to get me some more tests. You got until Friday, ladies and gentlemen, September the 2nd, to go to covid.gov and register for. You get 8 free tests. So don't dilly-dally. Take care of that.
Okay. Yes, it was too funny. I had to throw a kit away today because those first round of kits, remember, I didn't know they had expiration dates on them. I looked today and found out that they do have an expiration date. So I got rid of those. And then you're right. Chris reminded me today that I need to order some more. He had just recently ordered some. So I guess I need to order some because I guess we're going to have a COVID testing dinner party soon where we'll have to test everybody who comes in the door.
Okay. Well,
right.
There you go.
I cooked all this good food. You better not be positive. Right. You better not. Yes.
And you heard it here first, y'all.
Right. I cooked all this good food. You better not be positive. You better test at home. Right. Yes. Very good. Don't be bringing that over here. Don't be bringing that over here now. Yes. Okay. All right. So what else you got in the news tonight?
I was kind of shocked when I heard this because, I kind of like this particular boxing legend, but what in the hell is George Foreman doing? I know you heard about this. He's been accused of sexual abuse by daughters of his former associates, and he's in a lawsuit. Two women have accused former heavyweight boxing champion George Foreman. Y'all know who George Foreman is.
We do.
He's been accused of sexually abusing them when they were minors in the 70s. Now,
how old are these women now?
Well, they're probably in their they were teens in the 70s, so you do the math. They're probably in their 50s now.
Mm-hmm.
But one of the women has been described as the daughter of an advisor and manager to George Foreman.
And how old is George Foreman now?
Well, how old is he? He's got to be close to in his 70s.
Right. So things like this, and don't get me wrong, I hate for anyone to be abused, be it male, female, child, dog, anything. I don't want people to be abused, but it makes me wonder what takes people so long to come forward and say something. What is the reason now that these charges are being brought up against George Foreman, seeing that this man has made millions off of grills? This man's career has been illustrious. I mean, it just makes me wonder what makes people bring things like this up now.
Think about with Harvey Weinstein. You know, a lot of these. Thank you, Miss Bay. He said, I thought he was in the 70s, so he was a youngin' back in the day, right?
Right.
And I don't want to, when a woman has to make a point to tell her truth and say her story, I don't want to dispute that. But
I don't either.
And it's unfortunate. This is more common than not. So I will just say this to err the side of caution, chat. We'll see how this plays out.
We will see how it all plays out. And, in every situation like this, I have to ask that question just to, play the devil's advocate to see what happens. But you're right. We'll have to see how this all plays out. Okay. All right. What else do we have? I wish both parties all the best.
Well, guess who's now a daddy?
Who?
Colin Kaepernick.
That's what I heard. Congratulations to Colin Kaepernick. Let's talk about him. Yes.
I mean, Colin Kaepernick, for those who don't know who he is, he used to play for the San Francisco 49ers. And he's now an activist, even though I think he may be playing football this season. I'm not sure which team is not San Francisco, but what he is known for, he knelt down during the national anthem to protest black, police brutality against black men. And so, unfortunately, he paid the price. Well, now things have come, I think, for him full circle, because now he is a daddy. He posted on Instagram with him and his partner, and the baby is adorable. I mean, they have a beautiful photo of the three of them. And I said, now he's gone. Not to say he wasn't growing up then. He really gonna grow up now that he has a child.
Oh, absolutely.
So I just want to wish him, Nessa, and the baby boy congrats. Welcome to the world, good. Baby Kaepernick.
Another Kaepernick. Yes, another superstar in the making. Speaking of babies and baby daddy drama, did you hear where Nick Cannon is now expecting his ninth child? So what do you think about that one?
You know what? I have something to say, but I'm really going to refrain what I really want to say. I'm going to say out to be PC, being politically correct. Congratulations to his partner. I trust that the baby will be healthy, but he better be working until he's like 80 something, because they're estimating now. I don't know if you heard. There's a study that if you're gonna have a child, it's gonna take you $300,000. That's how much that child.
I know. And here's the deal. Not that I'm counting Nick Cannon's money. Not that I don't think he can afford it. But in this day and age, when you hear of people having that many children, it blows your mind. And I said this about the Octomom. Remember the Nadia Suleiman? Well, you know the team. They're now 17. I think yes, they're now they're cute as they could be. Somebody recently showed them on TV, but back then people were having big children, big babies. And then we came from, I know I came from grandparents that had the 13, 14, 15 children. But in this day and age, as you said, to raise a child is over $300,000. So I don't know. Betty said Nick is creating his own tribe. Girl, he created his own zip code. He created his own damn zip code. That's
what that is. And basketball team.
Right. Because Nick is just, I don't know. It's interesting. Want to say good evening to our good friend, the one and only Miss Anna Deshawn. Anna Deshawn is a journalist. She has a wonderful, cute, queer radio podcast that she does. She has an award ceremony coming up in October. So we just love Anna. She's watching us tonight via my Facebook page. So what's up, Anna?
Yay!
Yes. All
Yeah.
right.
Well, and I'm sure you heard too, since we've been off the air, Vanessa Bryant, who is the widow of Lakers great Kobe,
Yes.
received $16 million from a lawsuit over those helicopter photos when Kobe, his daughter, and 7 other people died, and she's donating the proceeds, which I figured she would, but I applaud her for doing this, because it's bad enough when you lose someone like that in a horrific helicopter accident, and now they're still speculating whether or not that it could have been prevented. But for these servicemen, and now I mean servicemen, people who are in the firefighter and first
First
responders,
responders. Yes.
take these photos and then show them off. How crass is that? I mean,
It's the
really.
world in which we live in. It's the world in which we live in. People are so quick to now film, take a selfie, take pictures, than to dial 911. I had a situation where 2 young ladies a fight broke out, and they ran back and asked my assistant and I, could we call 911? The same camera you are videotaping, live broadcasting, is the same damn telephone that can call 911. Matter of fact, if you press a certain button, your phone will dial it for you. So we're living in a world now where everybody wants to have proof. Everybody wants to be the first to share pictures. And then look at what like TMZ pays for pictures of people,
Yeah.
So yeah, that's,
At some point you have to just have common sense, right?
Right. Yes.
And I think they lacked common sense when doing that, because honestly, if I were in their situation, I would want to make sure I would try to do everything in my power to save their life, and not, and once they have expired, have dignity, let that person or persons have dignity, and they didn't do that. And so, I wonder what's going to happen to those individuals who displayed these nasty photos. They should be
they're going to be in trouble for sure, and they may even face some type of legal action for that as well too, of invasion of privacy. But you'd be surprised, people coming to funerals and photograph the deceased in the casket. I've seen people that are on live and walk up to the casket and steady talking and telling people and showing the body, and so yeah, I mean, people do it all the time. They really do.
That part of social media, I don't think a lot of people would like to see, and that's just my personal opinion.
I agree with you as well too. Want to give a shout out to our good friend Mr. Mario Hampton. He's watching us tonight. Mario's a big fan of the show. We appreciate your support, Mario. Thank you so very much. We really do. All right. Oh, shout out. Did you see our amazing cookies? I'll have to get you some cookies over there tomorrow. Isn't that beautiful?
That was so sweet of Miss Moy to
I
do
know.
that.
Yes, absolutely. And the publicist, Gail. So we really appreciate you guys for that was really beautiful. Gail is just a tremendous force to be in her company and in her presence, and she's just done some incredible things for us in this show. So we appreciate her so much. Absolutely. All right. What else do we have in news tonight?
Well, you sent me a story which I'm not surprised, but I kind of am. And it's interesting. Women under 45 have driven themselves under the knife during the pandemic. And I was like, wow, I'm kind of surprised, but I'm like, okay, we're in a pandemic. Nobody gonna be outside looking at you unless you're a movie star or something like that, but everything's shut down. But interestingly enough, it said more and more women under the age of 45 have sought or are seeking cosmetic procedures. And I'm like, okay, I get it, but I just didn't understand. I can see now after, post pandemic, you may want to be under the knife, but during the pandemic?
Well, here's the reason why, and this has been a story since the beginning of the pandemic. most people had to communicate the way we're communicating now,
Right.
digitally, via Zoom, via whatever the platform may be. And people are noticing their imperfections. People are noticing my hairline is too far back, my nose or my face, or whatever the case may be. And so this is now the reason that you don't want to be seen the way you want to be seen, or my bags, or I have jowls, or whatever the case may be. And so this is the reason why plastic surgery is skyrocketing right now. I know of a plastic surgeon that stayed just as busy during the pandemic, like you wouldn't believe, because it was because people had to do what we're doing now: talk, be seen, where you could be on the phone, or if you're at a meeting, you really don't care because you're not looking at yourself. But, I tell people, when you do something like this, you need to really look at yourself. How's your lighting? How's your makeup? How are
Yeah.
you sitting, situated? What's in the background? So yeah, that's where the spike came in of insecurities about how they look.
And I'm sure it will continue to increase because even though we're post pandemic, with monkeypox, with the increase in polio cases,
Yes.
that just kind of shocks me. But we'll probably have more because, as quiet as it's kept, there are a lot of vain folks out there.
Yeah. I mean, that's what that is. Don't get me wrong. That's exactly what it is. And we can't be mad at people
Oh,
for
no.
vanity. And shout out to all the plastic surgeons that are taking care of these people. But as you know, dear, that's exactly what that's all about. I want to be beautiful. I want to be seen. I want everybody to love and appreciate me. And oh my God, I don't look my best, and yada yada yada. The list
But
goes on and on.
But the one thing about it, though, you got to love yourself, truly love yourself first. Self care and self love is extremely important because I don't care what type of procedure you get. If you don't truly love who you are, it doesn't really matter how many procedures you get. You got to love you
Right.
first.
You do. You honestly do. You really, really do. All right. Very good. What else do we have in the news tonight?
Did you hear? And you talk about from cosmetic surgery to online dating. Now, ooh, I read this story. I said, "See, this is what my father was worried about because I used to do a lot of online dating back in the day. I don't do that much now, but apparently, a Washington man met up with a woman
Uh-huh.
from a dating app and was held hostage and robbed at gunpoint.
Oh, mm-hmm.
30-year-old
Yes.
victim who wishes not to be identified for obvious reasons. He met this woman on the app Plenty of Fish, of which I have met men on POF.
Oh, have you?
I have.
Okay. All right.
Back
And
in,
how
back,
was it?
back in the day. I wouldn't do it now, but I did mean back because see, again, before I met them, or what do? I vet these sons of guns. I do the
Okay.
background check. I don't play. So, and then of course, listen to my big brother Chat Daddy because you giving advice about online dating and make sure when you go out, you let somebody know where you going because if something happens, they know where to go. You leave
Right.
those breadcrumbs anyway. But this particular person, he went on a date with this woman in Tacoma, Washington, on the far west, and was hoping that things will work out. Next thing he knew, not only she, but apparently an associate of hers tied him, put a gun to his head, tied him up, and robbed him, and took pictures of him nude, saying, "If you do anything, we're gonna post these photos." It's honestly, it's amazing that he's alive, because some people would try to kill you.
Right. Well, I've heard of this story before. I know several people who have been in this situation. I knew of a gentleman that had some fame about himself here in Chicago, and he had a thing for, let's just say, young men who were, as they call or say, rough trade. And he would end up bringing the rough trade back to his place. And it happened to him. And matter of fact, the guy robbed him, almost beat him inches, he had no more life in him. He stayed in critical condition for quite a while after the beating. And so I've always just been very leery. I'm like you. I need to know who you are, where you from. I'm gonna safeguard and protect myself, and do all the right things, because you just never know when you're out here meeting people like that.
Absolutely, and especially
Right.
nowadays. So, I hope that he is okay. Emotionally, it's going to take him some time to get over this, but you
Right.
just nowadays you better be careful. Do your
Yes.
due
Yes.
diligence where you go out.
I couldn't agree more. All right. What else do we have in news and entertainment? Did I send you
Yeah,
something about comedian Ari Spears and how he going in on my girl Lizzo?
I did not get that story. You want to
We'll
share that
talk. We'll
story?
we'll talk about that tomorrow night. We'll talk about that because that's been a hot topic as well too. So we'll bring that up tomorrow evening. Yes.
Okay. Well, now that we're back and we're still working from home, some of us, or most of us are
Yes.
working from home. There's this term that keeps popping up, and to me, it's not a new term. It's just been an interesting term called quiet quitting.
Quiet quitting. Yes. 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 Let's
I
talk
mean,
about
to
this
me,
quiet quitting.
it's just like basically what it is you're just going through the motions. You're doing just the bare minimum to have a job, and I mean, people have been doing that for a long time. So I don't get the fact that they've renamed or revamped this phrase "quiet quitting" because a lot of the millennials now, a lot of the Gen Zers, even with this post pandemic, you can find a job.
Right.
Even though there are a lot of companies who are laying off, you can still find a job. So I just don't get this quiet quitting phase. What do you think, Chad? I mean,
Well, I think, especially now that we're in post pandemic, people have a lot of choices and a lot of options. And when you go to work on a job, the job may not be paying that much, but you're putting your heart and soul into the job. You're hoping that the job will lead to some other things. And then you figure out, you know what, this is a crocker. You know what, let me just kind of coast my way on through until you find something else that's more suitable, pays more money, whatever the case may be. And I know quite a few people who are in that particular situation. The pandemic changed a lot of things for people.
it
People who
did.
did not stay employed during the pandemic and had to go out and find new ways of making money. That's why you now have a new demographic of people, not only the millennials, the Gen Zers, but I even look at our age demographic. For a lot of us that had to make a pivot and go learn to do something else, you
Mm-hmm.
go into a work situation and see how these people are running the place or however they handle business, and you like, I ain't gonna be a part of this. Let me find me something else to do. So to me, that fits in that quiet quitting category.
I agree. And I think too, you're right. The pandemic has been truly a game changer. And a lot of us who have families, a lot of us who are caregivers, they're really setting, if they didn't set boundaries before, they're damn sure setting boundaries now. Because
Right,
life
right,
is too short. I mean, I know when we do our end of year review, Art, to name how many people that we know personally, in addition to the famous celebrities that have left here this year
right.
alone due to COVID, due to whatever. And life is too short. So,
Hmm.
even though I think the phrase is very, it's interesting. Um, Oh, that's an interesting point, Betty. Wow. I bet it's impacted your industry because
Oh,
we were
absolutely.
driving downtown, and to see all the buildings that they're up for sale, need leasing. I was like, yeah, and it's not going to change.
Yeah.
It's going to keep being recycled,
Right.
because a lot of people, I was talking to a friend of mine about Chase CEO Jamie Dimon is just like almost demanding folks to return to the office. I said, well, who the heck is what is he smoking? He making $38 million a year.
Well, there was a story out today that employers may start cutting the salaries of people who remain at home workers. The big push is to bring people back to locations. Bringing people back to locations mean, i.e., breakfast, coffee, lunch, happy hour, dinner in those particular areas, parking structures. Just a lot of money is involved in just having people all in one particular place. And so they were just saying today that they're thinking about like people who continue to work from home, giving them a lesser salary because you don't have to pay for the commute, the accoutrements of working in an office someplace. You don't get all of that. What do you think about that? Because you and I both are at work from home type of people.
You know what? Been there, done that. I am at the season of my life now where I can do what I do and do it quite well. I don't need to be, honestly, unless it's absolutely necessary where I have to meet, certain uh, certain people, to do an audit, let's say, right? But I don't need to. I can have a conversation with you just like we're having now. And I
Right.
think the key is how your communication skills are in this digital platform. If you're the type of individual who's very shy and very just reserved, you may want to go back to the office, right? But if
Right.
you are
Yeah.
always been very outgoing, I don't care where you are, you're gonna shine at home, you're gonna shine in the
Yes.
office. But for me personally, I like this space. Just personally.
Yes, I do too. I love it. I can work from home as much as possible. I can leave out a couple of days a week. I do love the getting dressed, going someplace. There are things that I can do, while I'm out, whether it's lunch break, coming home from work. So that part of it does not bother me. But I don't know if I necessarily could do a 5 or 6 day work week anymore. I just
Right,
think I'm beyond that. I really am.
right. I
Four
agree.
is the max. Four is the max. So yes,
I
absolutely.
agree.
All right. Well, we're waiting on our special guest. I'm not sure what's going on. He actually interviewed with Bob Surratt earlier today at WLS, and so I'm not sure what's going on. But do you have other news stories we could talk about? I'm gonna try to
Well,
investigate where our guest is.
well, this is the season of the US Open, and who is going to probably be the showstopper of the US Open because she has made her announcement that she is taking a step back. And as you know, Serena, the GOAT, she's
Yes,
on
of
the
all
cover
times,
of Time. I don't know. Did you see that recent cover of Time magazine? She looks
fabulous. Fact.
absolutely
She looks amazing.
gorgeous.
She does.
Um,
Yes.
she's going to be participating in the U.S. Open as we speak, and even she's going to be doubling with her sister Venus, which they have not lost a double slam ever. So I have a feeling the level of enthusiasm to see Serena in her last Grand Slam, folks are gonna be watching the television just to see her. Um, and I'm just really proud of her. As I said, she made the decision. She's like, look, I want to have another child. I want to raise my daughter. I got other ventures. I want to leave on top. And to me, when you're a professional athlete and you're truly at the top of your game, when you're able to walk away on your terms, to me, that's the
Yes.
best thing. And
It is.
so
It
I'm
is.
so proud of Serena. I really am. I'm definitely going to be watching snippets of the Open because I'm not a tennis buff per se. Because last time I played tennis, I was a young girl and I had a
Right.
tennis racket. I don't know where the heck that racket is. That racket probably is somewhere in the garbage somewhere. But and I have a friend of mine who is a on the board of a local uh, not for profit African American Tennis Foundation here in Chicago. I'm going to talk to her about that. But
Yes.
just knowing that Serena is leaving at the top of her game, it makes me proud. It really does.
Okay. Very good. Well, believe it or not, Chris is a tennis player.
Really?
He is a tennis player, and he loves tennis. So yes, he is a tennis player. Yes.
And have you indulged in that sport, Chat?
Girl, hell to the no. Hell to the no. 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 Hell, I'm lucky if I can get up out this chair when this show is over. No. Yeah. Once I get my bionic knees then maybe right. Otherwise, hell to the no. I ain't been playing tennis. Right. Yes. I'd rather watch him on the court running and sweating and huffing and puffing. So
it's
yes,
some good
no.
exercise.
Yes, it is. But yes, he's an avid tennis player and he loves tennis. So
Good for
yes.
him.
Yes.
Good for
All
him.
right.
Are we still waiting for Mr. Thompson?
We are waiting on our guest. I've sent a message to so we may have to reschedule our guest. We'll see. But I did send a message to his people, but he was supposed to be here with us. She said he was excited, so we'll see. All right. So let me kind of give you the lowdown. Actor and comedian Ari Spears. You guys may remember him from what was the comedy show that used to be on with the Wayans brothers? In Living Color.
Living Color.
Ari Spears was a part of In Living Color. He has had his own stand-up comedy. Well, over the weekend, as you know, the VMAs took place. Yes. And Lizzo, as always, 3 outfit changes, the most fabulous person ever. You know, Lizzo is Lizzo. You know what I'm saying? And we've all learned to love Lizzo. We've learned to be a part of who she is, what she does, all of that. Well, comedian Ari Spears is comparing himself to Lizzo and saying that he doesn't know why everybody's embracing her. He's a big guy. I met Ari Spears a few years ago, and he was a mess. He was a mess. He looked a mess. He smelled a mess. Ooh. And he was a mess. Yeah, he just, so that's why, it's an insult. And if you Google Ari Spears right now and look at any pictures of him, Ari Spears needs to see a doctor. He looks dehydrated. He looks like he's having some health issues. So for him to come for Lizzo like that, and Lizzo shut him down last night at the VMA, you know, somebody's out here talking about me and trying to dig in on me. She was like, guess what? I'm winning though. And she was. And that was the best clapback ever. It really was. It really, really was.
Oh my.
Yeah, make sure we'll talk more about that tomorrow night. Well, tonight,
and that's just really sad, honestly, because, you know, to me, if you're not of a certain weight that you want to be, you know, we need to lift each other up. I'm tired of folks trying to tear each other down. Yeah,
we do. Yeah, we do. We do. We really do. Well, tonight we are honored to welcome a gentleman who is not only an icon, but he's a legend. He's from Chicago, and I had the honor and pleasure of interviewing him for his 78th birthday when I was at WVON. We had a cake for him and everything. Well, he recently turned 80 years young. 80 years young. He's still shining. He's still bright. Matter of fact, I was told he just performed in Florida this past weekend. He is busier than you and I. Yeah, I was talking to somebody down in Florida, and they was like, he was just here. A jet setter. He is a superstar. He is one of the founding members of the Chi-Lites, the mighty Chi-Lites. He has a star on the Hollywood Walk of Fame. And I'm just going to put it to you like this. One of the coolest people you'll ever meet. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome the legendary Mr. Marshall Thompson. Yay!
Daddy.
Hey. How you doing? Good to see you. How you feel?
Man, I feel good, man. They giving me that, after getting that star in Hollywood, now I got another thing coming up.
I heard in December you're gonna be honored. We're gonna talk about everything tonight because we are so proud of you. Were you in Florida this past weekend performing?
No, we was up in the Yoshi's. We played Yoshi's in Oakland, California. We had
okay.
We had 2 sellout crowds there, 2 shows.
Wow, because somebody said they thought you were in Florida this weekend performing, and I said, okay, I just know you stay on the road, you stay traveling. So how have you been through this whole pandemic? And happy birthday as well, too.
Yes, happy birthday.
80 years old, I feel great.
Wow.
And it's a blessing. It's a blessing. I thought Hollywood Walk of Fame was going to be my biggest turnaround. And then I get a call from Houston, Texas. They honored me from the president, the Lifetime Achievement Award. That's something else. Then I got another call from Houston. The college is giving me the doctor's degree, this honorary doctor's degree.
And did I understand all of this is going to happen for you on December 4th?
December 4th. That's how I'll be getting the President Award, and I'll be getting the honorary doctor's degree.
Okay, well, every time I talk to you, I've got to get the backstory. First of all, how did you even join up to form a group? How did it all come about? You're a Chicagoan, born and raised here. You are probably one of the most celebrated Chicagoans I know right now in the music industry. How did your career get started?
Well, it started off coming out of high school. DuSable High School, that's where I ended up. But I was at High Park High School with Squirrel and Red. Eugene Rucker was at Inglewood High School, and we used to battle against each other. I used to battle against Squirrel's group. His group was called the Chantours, and my group was called the Desideros. We can dance like crazy, but we could not sing like crazy like Eugene and Squirrels at the time. But Gene and Squirrel couldn't dance. So when I got out of high school, I was a drummer, and I had a pleasure to go to the Regal Theater and land on the job. I was in the sound check of Gladys Knight and the Pips, and Gladys Knight needed a drummer, and I ended up getting up there playing the drums and got the job. Okay, that's how it all started. Okay, I got the job with Gladys Knight, and after the week at the Regal Theater playing with her for 7 days, I ended up going with Major Lance on the road. He had out the record Monkey Time. So I went on the road with Major Lance. We landed up in Houston, Texas. My manager, Muhammad Ali, was our manager at the time of the Charlotte. He happened to be down there training. So I played at Ray Barnett Cinder Club, and Major Lance was late for the show. So what happened is I had to take the microphone, Major Lance's microphone, and put it on the drums. So I was trying to think of what to sing. So I sung Rainbow by Gene Chandler. That was a hot song right there.
Yes, and, it was.
I got a standing ovation. So after I did that, we told Barnett, say, man, you sang all right, man. I say, look, me? You ought to hear my group in Chicago, Marshall and the Chi-Lites. He said, could I bring them down here? He said, they don't know who they are. I said, I tell you what, Muhammad Ali is our manager. He's over at the hotel training. Let's put his name on the marquee so he can draw the people. And next thing I know, the people was wrapped around the block.
And see, look, Mr. Thompson, we're going to say now in today's society, that'd be a lawsuit. Back then, that was a jackpot. Right. Right. Did we lose it? Right. Oh, no. Wait, what happened? Right. That is hilarious. Oh, there he is. Look, you were a marketing genius back then. Right. Absolutely. That was a marketing genius. Yes.
Thank you.
Yes, that was right. I'm like, look, nowadays you put somebody's name on something, they be like, I'm suing you. Back then, this man had hit the jackpot. When did the Chi-Lites get their first big break? Like, when did you realize? Go ahead.
After playing with Major Lance, I was downtown on the bus on 12th and Roosevelt Road. And that's where Brunswick Records was. And Major Lance was walking down the street. I said, man, when I got off the bus, I said, what you doing walking down the street? They're going to tear your clothes off, boy. He said, they ain't going to tear my clothes off. I'm getting ready to go up to the office. I'm glad you got off that bus. Come on upstairs so you can meet Carl Davis and tell him about your group. So I went up there and talked to Carl, and I said, could we come down for audition, Carl? And while I was down there, who was coming up the steps? Jackie Wilson. Jackie Wilson come up the steps. I said, what? Hey, man. What's going on? He said, I heard you was going to play drums on one of my songs. So I said, well, I was down there to play drums, but same time, I was asking Major to talk to Carl Davis to let my group come up in and audition. And that's what I did. I went to Eugene. He was driving a cab. Squirrel was a welder, and Red was working at the post office. So I went over and got them, and we went down there and auditioned for Carl Davis. And Jackie Wilson said, sign them boys.
Wow.
Incredible. Okay, Renee, go right in and talk to our guest.
First of all, Mr. Thompson, again, happy belated birthday. And I always ask this question, so I'm going to ask of you. You are inspiration to a lot of us, especially a lot of Chicagoans here. Who inspires you to be the best?
Well, my father, all of them was a musician. My father played with Louis Armstrong, #1 on the road. My mother was a keyboard player. My uncle was a trumpet player with the circus, Bonneville Circus. So everybody was in my family was musically inclined. So I knew I was going to be something, but I didn't know I was going to get as big as I was.
Well, because that's incredible to come from a background like that, and then for you to hit all this fame, success, be with one of the most powerful groups of the time. What has life taught you more than anything? Here you have lived 80 years young, still out here performing, thriving. I was just telling somebody we're going to see you Saturday night and Diana Ross Sunday night, and you two keep legend alive. You keep your flow and rhythm to the point. What really gives you that energy to do that?
Well, it was a blessing. Coming out of DuSable High School with Captain Walter Diet, he told us, he said, hey, one day you all can go all the way to the top. Just keep on at it. And Herb Kent, we went over Herb Kent's house in the basement. We was about to break up one time. Herb Kent said, nah, if you all break up, you're going to lose out. And he was right. We stuck together and we made it all the way to the top. And when we got that star in Hollywood, well, first of all, our manager, we had good management, first of all. That's why we got to where we were today. Great management took us to the Flip Wilson show. He managed Flip Wilson. He took us to the Dick Clark show. Our manager managed Dick Clark. Okay. And he managed Sammy Davis Jr. So, I mean, we had great managers to help us out all the way.
Let me ask you this: with all the troubles and things that we hear with celebrities nowadays, and we're not going to bring anybody's name up, and we've seen the stories of, people losing out and drug addiction and being accused of things. What kept the Chi-Lites? Was it the management that kept the Chi-Lites on the straight and narrow and kept you all's image great? Or was it that you guys as a group decided we're going to stay on this straight and narrow?
Well, I like to say we had good management. But good management will keep you together. Okay, we was always going somewhere. And when we got the hits, the big hits, Old Girl and the Have You Seen the #1 hits from Flip Wilson show, we knew that we was on our way. So we stuck together from there and made it happen.
Mm-hmm. You got a shout out from your family, the McNabb family. I got a message earlier today about your late cousin, Bruce McNabb. His wife, Anita, is saying hello to you now.
Yeah, that's my first cousins. All right.
Yep. From the funeral. I remember you speaking at the funeral. So, yep, glad to see you. So let's talk about what's going on with you this coming Saturday here in Country Club Hills.
Well,
and
that's
I want to talk.
That'll be on this Sunday.
Oh, it's Sunday. Sunday. Yeah. Okay.
I brought the star back from Hollywood. I flew in last night. I brought the star back to show it to Chicago. We wanted all Chicago to come out and see that and let them know that you can make it all the way just like we did. You got to put it in your heart, pray on it, and hold on to your dreams. Your dreams will come true if you work hard at it. So that was my idea coming back to Chicago, to let Chicago see where we come from the beginning and look where we are today.
And so what time is the show? How can people connect with you there?
Well, 5 o'clock, the doors will open at the Country Club Hills. It's the last show of the season. We want them to come on out and they can get tickets at the door too. I heard that. You can't get tickets, but it'll be electronically tickets, and they can get them there as well. Or go to eventsmarter.com and download your tickets right away.
Mm-hmm. Country Club Hills this Sunday, you guys. Make sure you check out Mr. Marshall Thompson. Before, did we lose him again? Did we? He's back. Okay, there. That's all right. That's all right. Somebody watching you. They watching you on this show. Somebody coming. They popping in again.
It's all right.
That's okay. That's right. Keep going. In closing, what do you want to most say to this audience about just staying alive, doing the doggone thing? Because we are proud of you. 80 years, icon, legend, and you have a star on the Hollywood Walk of Fame. What do you want to say to the audience in closing?
Well, I'd like to say to the audience, it was a dream come true to us. It's one of the greatest days of our life last year when we received that star. And it's there. I talk about it a lot. Everybody say, Marshall always talk about that star. But you know what? I never dreamed I would have that star.
That's right.
I got it. So it's something to talk about. So I love it, and I'm going to keep talking about it and be thankful for the good Lord taking us all the way to the top where we are today.
I couldn't agree more. I could not. And your interview with Bob Surratt earlier today was absolutely amazing, by the way. That was a great interview. It really was. Kay Renee, what do you want to say to our superstar before we let him go?
what advice would you give youngins when they want to get in this business? What would be your best advice?
Well, first of all, when you're young, we all got talent, great talent. You got to believe in it. Don't blame it on radio stations. They won't play your record. Everybody's going to play your record if you got a good one. You know, you come up with a good record, they'll play it. And I want you to do not stop believing in yourself. If you got something good, keep working at it over and over and over. We did. It took us 10 years to get our first hit record.
Wow. That's determination. That's determination, and that's grit. That's how it all works. Ladies and gentlemen, please give a big round of applause for not only a legend, but an icon. Chicago's very own. Every time you see him, he clean. Look, he got a hat on now. He clean.
Yes,
he stay clean. Look, diamond rings and everything. We appreciate him. The legendary Mr. Marshall Thompson of the famed Chi-Lites, one of Chicago's very own. Sunday, Country Club Hills Theater. Doors open at 5. Go see this man. He's really a legend. And you guys are going to be in store for some great R&B soul music. So check him out. We appreciate you, sir. Thank you so much. And we'll see you this weekend.
Thank you for having me.
It's a pleasure. God bless you and happy birthday again.
Happy birthday, Mr. Thompson.
All right.
Thank you.
We'll see you soon. All right. Bye-bye.
Right on.
Oh, that was incredible. That was great. I
thank
love
you.
him. He's such a great man. He is. He's a really great guy.
Very, very humble, too.
Yeah, very humble. Yes, he is.
Humble.
Yeah. And he's just good people. His daughter's a wonderful woman, Yvonne. I just love her. Let me see. We got quite a few people here that's making comments about, let me see. What is everybody saying? K-Renee, he was great.
He was.
I know. Let me see. Let's see what the comments say. That's from Quiet Quitting. That's not that one. Oh, everybody said he did a great job. Very good. All right. Well, K-Renee, I think it's time for you to deliver your nugget.
Yes, and this nugget comes from another icon who we lost 2 years ago, Chadwick Boseman, on this day.
I know. Yes.
But given what we've talked about, especially to Mr. Thompson, this nugget is definitely relevant as today is Motivational Monday. And Chadwick said, the struggles along the way are only meant to shape you for your purpose. And again, that's Motivational Monday. # struggles are an excellent motivator to define your purpose.
Your purpose, yes. Your purpose. Your purpose, yes. And your yeah, I know, me too. I've been tongue-tied all evening. Your purpose, yes. It's a part of my purpose. Yes, my purpose and your purpose. Yes, very good. For more information about Karen, please visit karensnuggetsofknowledge.com, karensnuggetsofknowledge.com. Tomorrow night, we'll meet an author who has written an inspirational book geared towards children. The one and only Miss Linda Odom will be here tomorrow night, and we're going to talk about how her book has been translated into various languages. This is how wonderful this book is. And now that we're back to school, we want our young people to do a lot of great things. This book is a perfect way, and this book was to help her grandchild, if I'm not mistaken. So this is very good. I can't wait to talk to Linda tomorrow night. Oh, I want to send a major shout out to Daytime Chicago. This past Thursday, you guys, I was back on Daytime Chicago, and I just love being on. Miss G Soo Yi was on filling in for Tanya Francisco, of course, my beloved Amy Rutledge, and we talked about getting the spark back in your romance. Now that school is back in, quite a few of you all are empty nesters. There's been quite a few people on social media who are empty nesters now, and I think we need to watch them because, baby, they about to lose their minds. They about to lose their minds. It's going to be okay, especially if you're a single empty nester. Now is the time for you to find that Mr. Earl or find somebody so when them kids come back, they meet their new stepdaddy. That's all I'm going to say, or their new stepmama. That's all I'm going to say. That's all I'm going to say about that. That's all I'm going to say.
You gave some very sage advice. I was very proud of you.
Did I? Yes. Well, honey, you know I believe in keeping it funky and keeping it fresh, or keeping it fresh and funky. Yes. And funky, baby. Keep it fresh and funky.
Absolutely.
That's how we do it. All right. Well, we'll be back tomorrow night at 7 o'clock for the Tuesday night edition of the Real Chat Daddy Show. And then after that, we are going on hiatus. We will be off for a while. Yes, we're going to be on vacation, honey.
Whoa.
And when we come back from vacation, we'll be able to tell you guys what we're going to do next. But we probably will not return back until the 12th.
I see.
Yeah.
All righty. Well, and you know what September is for me. So
it's Virgo season. It's Virgo season. Yes, it is.
Because today would have been was it 69? He would have been the king of pop.
64.
64. Thank you. He would have been 64 today. So happy heavenly birthday to the one and only.
Happy birthday. Happy birthday. Happy heavenly birthday.
And yesterday was the March on Washington, another anniversary. We were not around, or at least I wasn't, but that's something that we always need to remember, because that was another part of the civil rights movement. So August is always a good month.
It is. It is. Thank you, Philip. We'll be back tomorrow night, and we'll be on vacation for a minute. Absolutely. All right. We love you guys so very much. Thank you to the incredible Mr. Marshall Thompson of the Chi-Lites for stopping by tonight. An icon, a legend. We just love and appreciate him, and just a great man. Really, he is. Thank you so much, everybody. We appreciate you guys. Yes. It was, let me see, Marguerite, Betty, who else do we have? Candace tonight. Let me see. Yes. Antonio. Accessories by Nina. Let's see. Who else do we have? Thank you, Betty. We appreciate you. Who else do we have? Let me see. Tammy, we appreciate you. Scorpio love. Janet Crawford, all of you guys. Mario Hampton. Thank you to let me see, who else do we have? Boy, got a lot of people on here tonight.
Yay.
Anna Deshawn. Hello to Bernard Sims. Hello, Emma Sims. Hello, Anita McNabb. Thank you. You guys, it's been a wonderful show. We appreciate you so much. We love you guys. We'll see you tomorrow night at 7 p.m. Be well, okay, you guys? Stay out of trouble. Bye. Bye. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to the Real Chat Daddy Show.